Hello beauties, I'm directly from the beach. My hair is still wet, but I wanted to share my experience about fruits and processing pain and releasing karmic pain from the physical body. I want to keep an open conversation and open my minded space and heart space, because it's every diet and lifestyle is chosen by a soul to experience something. So I want to honor every lifestyle and diet, and it's important to allow everyone to experience what it is needed for their soul purpose, right? So I had my dogmatic approach on veganism in the sense that I could see the beneficial traits of a vegan or vegetarian lifestyle, and I was judgmental, but it was a short phase. I am happy about this, that it was a short phase. Because I now understand that I have to honor the cultural values. There are people who share the same meals with their family, and it's important to respect this. Also, there are tribes in Africa, for example, who would not have what to eat if they would not eat animals. So understanding that there are different perspectives and different situations. Also, there are people who have high levels of toxicity in the body, in the sense that we as humans do contribute to some level of pollution, so it's difficult to change the lifestyle due to that, because the body will go into the detox and it's quite difficult to handle. So being open-minded is very important with these aspects, and understanding that everything is good and every journey is important. So I am vegetarian for 13 years and fruitarian for 6 years. It was a fluid change. This is what I want to bring. In some ways we cannot force some aspects of our life. Discipline for me is important, but then forcing myself into something I am not ready to embrace is not self-love for me. So I have to be open with the fact that I might not be ready for a change, for example, because I have also my goals even now to go more into liquidarian, meaning consuming more liquids rather than solid foods. But I allow this process because I'm not ready to go fully liquidarian, and I had to stay with this and accept this and just enjoy my life, because I don't want to do something from survival or being perfect or something like that. Just allowing myself to enjoy life in the process of changing behavior each day to arrive to what I feel in my heart is right for me. This is also very important. Every lifestyle, I believe everyone has to choose based on soul alignment and inner truth and inner intuition, rather than listening to someone else. Of course, everyone's experience is important. I am very grateful for every fruitarian who exposed himself or herself and shared her or his experience, because it helped me a lot to understand. I read a lot of books to understand, to have a perspective on it. It was not just just like that, but I also felt in my heart that it is right for me. So Going into the fruitarian aspects. At some point, after going raw vegan, I've observed that I usually love to observe my environment and to create thoughts based on my own wisdom. So I've observed that fruits grow closer to sun, and the tree offers the fruits, and we don't have to cut the tree to eat the fruits. The tree offers the fruits, and the seeds go back into the earth to create a new plant. So for me, karmically, it felt more in alignment, because it's like I'm creating less destruction. So this was my first thought. And then the fact that many pre-religious civilizations were worshipping sun, and the fruits are also ripe in the sun, staying in the sun like this. So I could feel somehow the frequency of the sun nourishing my body in the fruits. But also this is supported by science, because we can measure the frequency of the foods, and the fruits apparently do have the highest frequency of all the foods. So what happened to me when I started eating more fruits is that the frequency of my body and my cells would go on a higher level. But this would mean that everything that is more dense in my body would come to the surface to be released. And when I say dense, it's about the emotions. I had a lot of anger coming out and a lot of pain coming to the surface from sexual trauma. So I had to stay with every emotion and process it. And it was quite challenging, because I also had to go through divorce and take care of my children. And in some ways it was very difficult to cope with. So this is what I want to bring. I know how challenging this is to process old emotions and release them from the body. So sometimes going back into the denser foods, it was like a break, like stopping the process and just I want to breathe again, right? So I totally understand this. And yes, it's very important that the rhythm is sustainable, because I also want to enjoy my life. And many souls here have many lifetimes and karmic relationships. What is a karmic relationship? The dynamic of savior, abuser, and victim. So playing this dynamic in past lives, and with some souls even in this lifetime. So for me, it was my own family. So going into all these processes of releasing my own pain, but then seeing all these patterns of what I have to clean up was quite challenging. So but it's a gift. It's a gift that fruits brought me. It taught me a lot of discipline, but I also had this opportunity to switch off from external life in many ways, like for 2 years, and to just be and sit with myself and only my family. I had this opportunity, so I'm grateful for it. But many people don't have this opportunity to stay at home and process all of this, right? So it's very important to understand what is happening here, and how much we can change, and how much we have to rest. And this is about fruits, what they bring. Also, for me, it was very important to rather than make extreme changes, to just make changes step by step. It took me many years to be where I am right now. So first for me it was to let go of gluten. I was suffering from extreme bloating, and gluten and milk, or everything milk related, any milk from any animal, would create extreme bloating. I'm still healing the bloating, but that was quite extreme. I would look quite pregnant with eating these two. So eliminating milk, gluten and sugar, these were my steps to embrace a more whole foods diet, which meant I would cook sourdough bread from whole grains, and my body would tolerate it better. Also, I could feel more nourishment in my body. And I did replace milks with plant-based milks. I could see how my skin cleared. I had some issues with candida, I don't know the accent in English, and it cleared instantly when I let go of fats like peanut butter and stuff like that. It was too much for me. Yes, so but with the meat it was a different process. 13 years ago, after I gave birth of my first daughter, I couldn't eat meat. My body didn't feel like eating meat. I would feel nausea. I couldn't eat meat. I didn't have any I did love animals, but I was quite desensitized, because in my culture I would see people stabbing the pig and so on. So it was part of my culture. So it was the process of my body telling me that I cannot process meat, and I felt better after not eating meat. So I started questioning. I started reading books, because I was afraid that I will miss the calcium, the iron, and so on. Back then there were a few vegetarians, so I could see that parsley and oranges hold more calcium. And also there is the second aspect. It depends on the body how it assimilates the calcium, what kind of calcium the body wants actually, and which is the best for the body to assimilate, because there is also a synthetic calcium, but the studies show that some bodies don't assimilate the synthetic form of it so well. So this is a different discussion on assimilation. So for me, I would really love to encourage all the people I know to eat more fruits if they can, because for me it also satisfied the sweet cravings, but it's also distilled water from Mother Nature, because fruits have a lot of juices in them. So yes, this worked for me very well, but I also know people who cannot go for a long time with fruits. I had a friend, she was really into, she felt with her whole heart she wants to be a fruitarian even before meeting me. And she couldn't because she would go into intense processes of releasing pain from the body, and she would go back into eating meat. This was the only way she could cope with everything emotionally that would come to the surface. So I feel like bringing acceptance on the process is very important, and not forcing anything is also very important. But also, if there is any possibility to increase the miracles of consuming fruits, this is absolutely amazing. In the sense that for me it feels like my cells are nourished with all the waters I consume, because the body contains a lot of water, and the question is, what kind of water do I consume through my food to nourish my cells? And also the elimination process is very important for the body. We eat, we poop, and our cells eat and poop. So it's a lot of metabolic waste to eliminate. So the body sometimes needs more of a rest to eliminate all the metabolic waste, all the pollution from the air, all the even emotions can create acids in the body, because if we stay a lot with the anger without moving it, it will create acids in the body. And eliminating all of this sometimes goes with taking a rest from the digestive processes. We already know that when someone has a flu, going only with liquids can help and ease the process. And usually when I would go through a flu, my body would not want to go with solid foods. I would rather drink teas or have soups. So yes, this is very important to observe also your body, how your body works, how it's best for you, what is your goal regarding your health, because this is very important too. For me it was very important to not go into all these illnesses my parents had. I really wanted to have a good health even when I will be old. So for this goal I had to let go of something every single day and accept a new habit that I felt right for me. So yes, that was my process. I am curious about your process, and also I am curious how can we sit with pain and allow it to move through our body without going into denser experiences, like anything that comes, I don't know, drinking, smoking, people, right? All the addictions. Some relationships are quite addictive. It's amazing. And even foods can be addictive if they are eaten to suppress an emotion rather than help the body to eliminate or bring it to the surface and move it. So yes, also bringing foods from the self-love. I feel it's also a process, right? If there are people who experienced sexual trauma, for me it was a process to look at foods with self-love and nourishing my body. I would punish actually my body with foods. I would stuff my emotions and, you know, sit into that keeping on those emotions in my body, not allowing them to move and let go. Even now, sometimes I can go into this. I must admit, it's not as often as before, but even now I have periods of time when like I want to I want to stop all of this thing coming up to the surface. So sometimes I also resource foods to slow down the detoxification, the ascension process, name it as you wish. And yeah, it's a curiosity for me because yes, I feel that being more in touch with nature, living in nature, for me it's easier because I have trees in my garden and I go and pick and eat what I have in the trees. It's, you know, it's a direct experience with nature. I don't have to go to shops or restaurants. I have them here, but I still buy fruits and vegetables from shops. I don't have all the fruits in the garden, but I really enjoy to pick from the garden and eat from the garden. And of course, the restaurant also can be an amazing experience, but I find this experience of being in contact with the tree, with the land, with picking with my own hands, somehow more grounded for me. So yeah, this is my experience. This is a long video already because there is another one aspect on the fact that there are foods who create alkalinity in the body, and there are foods which create acidity in the body. What is acidity? Everything that itches, eczema, everything that is expelled through the nose, through the throat, in the mucus. Body will cover everything that is, let's say, metabolic waste or toxins in mucus and expel it. So yes, there are also these aspects to consider when consuming foods, that everything that is acidic, it is said that it will create some sort of illness, and everything that is more alkaline will offer more nourishment and hydration to the body. Yes, I will bring the chart in the group, but what I feel the most important for this discussion is how can we process the pain and anger that comes up to the surface when we embrace lighter foods or a healthier lifestyle and so on. So yes, if you have any thoughts on these or feelings or something to share about your journey, I celebrate you and I am open to find more. What I also want to bring is that if there are spaces of pain in your body and you want to share about those spaces of pain, you can bring it in the group, and I feel it is much more integrated when we open and share about our pain and challenges. So if it resonates with you, please share. And my specialty is sexual trauma, so if there are spaces of sexual trauma which you want to bring in the group, I am very open to read and to be there with you, and to listen and offer my support how it suits you. And yeah, let's bring more happiness and soul alignment and resonance with our own intuition. So I'm curious also, what is the healthy lifestyle for you? How do you consider it being healthy for you? What are your goals? What would you love to let go of, and what would you love to embrace, nutrition wise? So yes, please share. Love you. May you have a great day or evening or night.